All right, guys. I was here, got to LA, and I was watching, just doing a little work on the Cam and Mays podcast and everything. And I want to talk to you about today. And I know everybody want to talk about what happened with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'll get to that. We'll talk that because I got them in a category. I put this in a category, right? I broke down today's games in a category. Games that I will say, I expected that. And then the games that we will call a stunner. Games that we say, ooh, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see that coming. Something like that. You always have a group of those games where we kind of expected that. And, that's a stunner. That's a surprise. That's how the NFL gives you every week. And we had some interesting games. A lot of close games. Games that are finishing with just a kick at the end of the game. The kind of stuff, that parody stuff, that the NFL absolutely adore. They love it because it tinkles with the heart. Tinkles with the mind. It makes us, oh my God, with the excitement, the anticipation, the game of inches, all of that stuff. To win a game is what makes the NFL so incredible. So I'm just running down the games that I thought would go down in the way I thought they would go down. Bears, Texans. Texans win 19-3. I expected that the Texans would win. But let me tell you a little piece about that game that I liked about that game, even though the Bears lost that game. I saw a better Caleb Williams. I saw a kid that was more in control, played more organized, on time, on script football. And once he mastered that organized, on time, on script football, then all of his unorganized, off-script football can be very effective. Because after you hit somebody with the boom, boom, the solid good stuff, then they come up with a master plan to try to stop it. What frustrates you out your head is then you add all that athleticism and that extra stuff, and you still get the play made. That's exactly what Patrick Mahomes does all the time. And we put this kid in the same breath as Patrick Mahomes. Let's give him time to catch his breath by playing on script, solid football. Chicago, you showed me. Maybe you do know what you're doing. Maybe you'll finally find and have your quarterback if you don't mess this kid up. Jets beating the Titans. A lot of people are going to talk about that. Aaron Rodgers gets his first win. I love that he played in the post game talking about, technically it's my second win. No, it's your first win. You played 4 plays that other game. You know what I mean? I know your team won that game. You played 4 plays. As a matter of fact, there should be a rule. Even if you start the game and you don't play more than 10 plays, then you can't get that victory. If the team goes something, I don't know, but not that it matters. But I was happy that the Jets got that victory. I was expecting them to win because I want the Jets right in the thick of things. It's always a good story to have one of those New York teams in it, and the Giants don't look like they're going to be the ones. Speaking of the Giants, I don't know if you can call that, I don't know if you can call it a surprise, the Commanders beating Giants 21-18 last second. I don't know if we can call that a surprise. I don't know what we call it. Because I don't know what to think of either one of those teams, but I know the difference between those teams. The Giants should be in holy hell because they paid their quarterback, and this is the quarterback play they are getting. While the Commanders are saying, "Oh, we got a shot here." They got a young quarterback, and there, like I told you, there's nothing greater than having a young quarterback who's getting the lessons of playing quarterback, but at the same time, you sneak a victory like the Commanders did 21-18. That's a win. Win. I don't care who you are. Let's talk about some great coaching in these next 2 wins. Steelers over the Broncos. I expected that. Mike Tomlin does a great job all the time. And still, Justin Fields gets to go 2-0 because Russell Wilson, though he returned, did not play. But Justin Fields or that offense is still not the kicker or the key to the Steelers winning. It's still Mike Tomlin in that defense. They held the Broncos to 6 points. So you tell your offense, just put up 13, we good, we win, we get out of here. And that's exactly what they did. Now, the other piece of great coaching I want to talk about are the Chargers. Chargers beating the Panthers 26-3. And I know everybody's saying, where's the Panthers? It's the Panthers, Mike. What does that matter? Let me tell you what it matters. It's how they did it. And then before the game, you see Jim Harbaugh patting his quarterback all on the back like he's finna go throw for 400 yards, and he pats me, and then he just turns around and hands that ball off to J.K. Dobbins. And I'm going to tell you something. What's brilliant about what Jim Harbaugh is doing. Everybody that went after that Chargers job, they went in and talked to the owners, and they talked about developing Justin Herbert. Kind of game plan and passing game they're going to put in to develop Justin Herbert. The brilliance of Coach Harbaugh. He says, I'm going to develop him, but first, I must set the mind of my team. I must make this team know we play football one way and one way only, and that's physical football. So the first 2 games, he has intentionally run the hell out of the ball. And saying now we've won just running. Once we add the element of that great arm and we get a great passing game and get that element added to our run game and good defense, now we got something special. You see, he's bringing Justin Herbert piece in last when everybody else tried to bring Justin Herbert piece in first. When you bring it in first, you put all the pressure on him. Brilliant coaching says, I'm going to bring a mindset around my whole team that we're going to be a physical team. I'm going to make sure that we run the ball all the time and everybody know that we run the ball. Then I'm going to bring my quarterback in. And when everybody comes up and try to power the line of scrimmage, we going to chew your asses up. It's brilliant coaching, to be honest with you. It's brilliant coaching. It's not just X's and O's. It's coaching the Jimmys and Joes. That's what Jim Harbaugh is doing. Just some brilliant coaching right there. Chargers win 26-3. Another game was a good game was the Seahawks. Now, I expect the Seahawks to win that game, but I'm going to tell you what's the surprise of it is just seeing how the Patriots are playing. The Patriots, man, the Patriots are playing. I got to give them credit. First 2 games without Bill Belichick have been fighting games. Gerard Mayo has them playing hard and doing great things. Ramondre Stevenson, you can tell he went and told Ramondre, you my dude. We going to ride with you. They call him the franchise over there in New England now. And he's been running like he's the franchise, and they'll keep doing that. The Packers beat the Colts 16-10. I was a little bit, I knew the Packers should win if Jordan Love played, but Jordan Love didn't play quarterback. Malik Willis did. And they still found a way to win that game. That was amazing. That's when you know you got a young team that's going to do some winning. And you miss the quarterback, and he still does some winning. That, my brother, that I like a whole lot. Now, the last game I put in this category, games I expected to go out the way they went out, even though I expected the results to be what they are, I never thought the game would be as great as it was, and I never thought that the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat the Bengals 26-25, would need a Hail Mary flag in the end of the game. Now, don't get it wrong. I truly believe that was pass interference. He was there a little bit early, a tad early. But that last play, you still sit back and say, you going to call that here? Or, oh, you going to call that because Taylor Swift is over there and in that box. And, that's just the conspiracy theorists put things out there. I thought that it was close enough that they could call that pass interference. They did. The Chiefs win. But even in a loss this time around, the Bengals win. Even in a loss this time around, the Bengals win. Let me say that one more time. Even in a loss this time around, the Bengals win. Why you say that, Michael? Stop acting crazy. Why you come up with something like, let me tell you, the Bengals coming off a loss to the New England Patriots felt like, oh my God, New England Patriots are bottom of the barrel. They just lost their head coach, and we let them beat us, you see. But you come around the next week, and now you play the champions, the team that's going for a 3-peat championship, and you beat them. You beat the champion who's going for a 3-peat. Had not you got that last second flag, pass interference. People are saying that was a mysterious flag. I still say the pass interference was pass interference. But now you leave and you're in your locker room saying, I told you, man, we're the team we want to be. We really beat the champions. All we have to do is clean up the little things, and that's where we belong. That's why Cincinnati, even though they lost because of who they were playing and the way they played them, you still got that win. That's what I'm saying to the Cincinnati Bengals. You got some fight now. I know you got to straighten some things out with Jamar Chase because that looks bad, losing his cool like that at the end and seeing him and his quarterback go at it like that. And I know, I know they boys. They're boys all the way back to school, all the way back to college at LSU, so I know they'll get that right. So they got to step in and try to make that right because the young kid does deserve the money. He is one of the best in the NFL. He just got to show up and show out and stop showing off and yelling like that and being crazy. But I'm sure he'll tell you that. Now let's get into these kind of games. The games that make me say, oh my God, what the hell happened there? And I'll start with that Vikings and 49ers game. I was saying we got to watch these Vikings because I saw them in week one. I thought they looked good in week one, and they came back and did something in week two. That defense played. They played, man. That defense played and played hard, man. They were not messing around. I got to give the Vikings credit. It was almost like they said, okay, we're going to take on this challenge. There's no way we're going to show you guys who's the best team or who has the best defense. And the Vikings had the best defense on that day. That's all. And Sam Darnold hitting Justin Jefferson on the long run and everything. But I'm talking about the Vikings had the better defense, and they won that game. That was a surprise because the 49ers were one of the best teams in the NFC. Bucks 20-16 over the Lions in Detroit. In Detroit. You got to get a Buck some real love to go in Detroit and beat Detroit. Baker Mayfield planted a flag in Detroit. And that was a bit of a surprise, especially after Detroit played week one. To see that happen, that was another surprise. Then we go over and out. The Rams are banged up, so I expected the Cardinals I expect that game to be a tight game because they were pretty banged up. I probably expect the Rams to win because I heard the quarterback say his job is not to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray said that's not his job to worry about giving him the ball. But Kyler Murray stepped in this game and in the first quarter went all to Marvin Harrison Jr. And he had about 140 yards in that first quarter. And woof, the whole team took off. You see, Kyler Murray went back and went over his job description, which says, get the ball. Your job is to, get the ball to the best playmakers on your team. Okay. That's Marvin Harrison Jr. So my job is to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Yes, that's what Kyler Murray said. That's what he did. And then that's what they did. They did what they needed to do. They came back and played a big game this week. 41-10, beating the Rams. I had the one game, this game before we get to Cowboys, I'll tell you I had. It was the Ravens and the Raiders. It hurt me to pick it because AP is my very good friend. Antonio Pierce, head coach for the Raiders. Very good friend. I love him to death. Love some of the players. I love Max Crosby. Those are my dogs on that team, man. But I think the Ravens was favored by like eight and a half points, 8+ points, something like that. And I took the Ravens +8. I took the Ravens -8, I mean. And the Raiders won that game outright, man, 26-23. AP and those guys put on a show, and that was the shocker. That was a shocker. I never expect the Raiders to beat the Ravens because I expect the Ravens to be hot coming off that loss to Tennessee, that toe tapper. Incidentally, not so incidentally, they had another shot here. Last second, ball in Likely hands again. Likely got both feet down, but dropped the ball this time. Had he caught it, he'd have caught it, they'd have hit and got out of bounds. Had 1 second left to kick that field goal. Could have tied that game and taken that thing in overtime, but Likely didn't come up with it. And the clock ran out. And the Raiders beat the Ravens 26-23. Speaking of the Ravens, that's who will be playing the Dallas Cowboys next week, and that's what worried me. Now they're coming in like a wounded animal, ready to bite everybody, break everybody. So that worried me there a little bit. But let me tell you something. I worry about next week. That Cowboy game, Saints 44, Cowboys 19, was an ass whooping. It was an ass whooping. And I can't help but in my own head saying, there's the difference right there. You see, the Cowboys can have talent, but I don't know that they know how to press a situation. The Chiefs have talent, and they press the situation. They meet and beat every challenge that comes up in this stadium. Meet and beat every challenge that comes up and try to challenge their reign of authority over the National Football League. And today was another show of that. The Chiefs did what they had to do. I say to myself, we always ask, Cowboys contenders, or this team contenders, or this team contenders, that team. Yeah, they're contenders. But the Chiefs, them damn champions. And there's a difference between the contenders and champions. Contenders hope to contend. Champions will always contend. I mean, it will always be a game. And if you're going to beat them, you got to play the whole damn game. It's going to go down to the rope, down to the wire, and you got to snatch a victory out of them because they're not giving you a victory. The champions. They're used to winning. And that's what Kansas City is. They're used to winning. They expect to win. So when things get hard, they don't go crazy. They expect to win. They're champions. That's what I'm talking about. You guys, there's a difference. The Cowboys don't have champions. They got contenders. Now, a contender can turn into a champion when they realize how tight they need to be and how good they need to be, how they need to turn to one another and make it a promise made one man to the other. I'll get my job done. Then you leave the contender ring and go to a champion ring. I also say it this way. only football families win championship, because the road to a championship is never paved smoothly. It's paved with peaks and valleys, and everybody can handle the peak. But very few bodies, if anybody, can handle the valley. You see, when teams and organization goes in a valley, they come apart. But when a real football family go in a valley, Kansas City Chiefs a couple of years ago, when everybody said, okay, we just going to start playing way back here and not give up the big play, they start dinking and dunking. Then people say, well, hey, y'all don't got Tyreek Hill no more. We ain't worried about y'all. They still got it done. They played great defense. You see what I'm saying? When a championship, a football family goes in any kind of valley, it brings them closer together and they come out stronger. See, in crisis, families come together and they come out stronger. Organization, teams, any other thing, they go in, they go apart, and they shatter. The Chiefs, they don't have a football team. It ain't a football organization. That's a football family. And if you're ever going to beat them, you got to become a football family. And the Cowboys, they don't have a football family right now. So they can ride high one week, and then the next week, right back down low. And now the question is, how do you come out of that valley? You know, how do you come out of the valley? They look like the Green Bay Packers game in the playoffs. You couldn't stop the run. Alvin Kamara had his day. And Derek Carr looked like an amalgamation of Tom Brady, Joe Moe, and Dan Marino with the rocket arm. I mean, he was making throws everywhere. He was doing everything. They couldn't be stopped. The first time they punted the ball was 9 minutes to go in the game. That was his first punt of the game. So, yeah, that was a horrific performance by Dallas. And I'm gonna lay something on this because I heard something, and I'm gonna tell you something. It pissed me the hell off when I heard it, and I don't know it for fact, but the source I got it from is it's an inside source, and he told me. I said, man, he said, Michael, I don't know, man. These guys, I don't know how focused they are. I said, well, what did they go over at the night before the game at the hotel? What are their thoughts? He said, man, a lot of these guys they're not forced to come to the hotel. It's a choice to come to the hotel. Let me give you guys some understanding. Night before a game, a team, even a home game, if we're playing in Dallas, you're playing Dallas, you got to leave your house. You come to the hotel. At 5 o'clock, we're going to meet at 6. We're going to eat dinner at 7. Then we're going to be back in meetings at 8. And then you'll go back to the room about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And, hey, they checking. Lights out. Take your ass to sleep. At 11 o'clock, lights out. Let's go to sleep. We're going to wake up at 8. We want you well rested. We're going to feed you a breakfast. We're going to go over another meetings. And then we're going back. We're going to the stadium on a bus all together. Now I'm hearing that this is not a force. They're not forced to come to a hotel. They can choose to come to a hotel. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? You're going to give 22, 23, 24, 25-year-old men an opportunity to come and go as they please on the night before a game? I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. You gotta make sure. Okay, I'm gonna just speak me. I'm African American, 15 to 17 kids. You leave me home the night before a game. No one's talking to me about my assignment tomorrow. Every one of my family members are talking to me about their damn problems right now. What they doing, what they going through, how much they need, how can I help them, how can I fix them? You don't leave these guys home. You put them in a hotel. You make it mandatory to come to the hotel. And so now all they can think about is football. All they see around them is football, and their mind will stay on the game. I hope the damn that somebody lied to me. I hope to damn that somebody lied to me and that we're not letting these young men run around and choose if they want to come to a hotel or not the night before a game. I'm just dropping that out. I'm going to check to make sure, but if that's the case, shit, we can stop right now. We can stop talking about the Cowboys ever winning the Super Bowl ever again if that's the case. If that ship has gotten that loose, then it's certainly going to sink. That's all. I will find out. I will verify that, and I probably should have made sure I found out before I said it, but I was just so pissed all day, I blabbered. I'm sorry. I don't know. What the hell you want me to do with it? I'll find out what happened and get back to you after that Monday night game between Philly and Atlanta. I'll let you know. But I'm telling you, that would be a big problem. And if they are doing that and doing it voluntarily, they need to fix it or ain't nothing going to be right until they do. If the night before a game, everybody's mind needs to be on one thing, and that's the game. Not home dealing with the problems that the family's going to put them in. You need to have your ass thinking about the game. And quite frankly, the way the Cowboys have been playing, that would explain a lot of things, to be totally honest with you.